My journey began, as it always seems to, getting the metro from East Bourne, taking me straight into Newcastle. The plan being that from Central Station I would then move on to Edinburgh. When at the station, began by checking train times to make sure nothing would go horrifically wrong, and then went for the most important part of the morning.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
So the plan for Edinburgh is to turn up in like, what time? Hang on, let me check the food. Turn up about 12ish, wander over to where the Chinese visa office is, or like the visa base of the Chinese embassy, pick up the visa, then essentially just head back to the station. So about a week ago I did almost exactly the same trip with my mum. Like a week ago I dropped off the visa, got the train back, like just dropped off the visa application form, got the train back. This week is me just picking it all up, because the posting it option involves spending far too much money on postage, and also the risk that it would take up to 3 weeks, which kind of would have screwed up my whole plans to go to China. Other things I'm doing today. So I've got a few friends who are going to Edinburgh University. So I don't have enough time to see any of them, but just via sheer coincidence, one of my good friends is getting the same train home as me. So hopefully I'm going to try and find a way to get on the same seat as her. There's general China-related news as well. There's a YouTube channel I really like called Vox. Vox essentially does a lot of there's a lot of really interesting journalism. So a lot of their stuff's like very left-wing biased, right? Like in the lead-up to the American election, almost everything on there was discussing like why Hillary Clinton's excellent, and like, you know, it was the sort of newspaper outlet that didn't even like consider like a vaguely balanced view, but was just like, nope, we are on this side. And to be fair, as a newspaper outlet, I can see why. But a lot of their social commentary stuff's really interesting. Like, there's just loads of really random videos as well. There's a great one on like great white sharks and aquariums. But they've got this series called Borders, which is essentially international travel. So there was the bloke that did that had an episode on North Korea, an episode on Japan and Tokyo, and put on a post on the website and was like, oh, by the way guys, I'm going to be like traveling around the world. Could people send me suggestions of places that you think would be worth seeing? And then the onus being you just do a video on each of those. So I emailed him and I was like, oh, this sounds cool. Hi, I'm going to be living in Beijing. Do you have any cool suggestions for Beijing? And he got back to me yesterday night being like, yeah, no, I'll send them along. I mean, currently I don't have access to my laptop, but as soon as he does, he said he'd send me them along. So this strikes me as like, this strikes me as me getting quite lucky on like cool suggestions, and then I might do some videos on like the Vox insiders trip to Beijing, which sounds quite cool.
Arrived at the train, went to find my seat, cracked my laptop open to do something productive with the time. Personal statement. Oh yeah, the train was meant to arrive at 8:30. I arrived in Edinburgh as a typical tourist, looking around, realising how different it was to home, and yet in some ways quite similar, as all European cities seem to be. And of course, cost aside, it did have its own unique qualities that I certainly wouldn't have found in Newcastle. So the embassy is just in this building here, just through those doors. They don't let me film inside, or at least there's no cameras inside, so I'm going to assume that I don't have vlogging either. So the plan is to just jump in there now. Last time was a really painless experience. So basically, the lady behind the counter essentially asked me for like 4 different bits of paperwork, and I handed all of them over in turn, and that was literally it. So this is me turning up to the embassy, turning up to the visa office now, to just pick up the paperwork, and hopefully it should be as painless an experience as last time. I arrived on the second floor, reassured by a Mandarin sign on the toilet that I was indeed in the right place, and walked towards the embassy.
And like less than a minute later, yeah, that was it done. Just handed over the money to the woman, and then yeah, that was the visa. So now off to explore Edinburgh. Someone who only has about an hour in the city before they end up seeing before I end up seeing Becky at the train station. This is the sort of this is the sort of obvious level attraction I like to go see. Sounds good enough to me. There's even a castle in the background. Look at that. This rocky outcrop to my side, the castle's at the top of there. So I'm currently at, like the park at its base, and I'm pretty sure there's some steps to get up there. I have no idea where, but I don't know, because I can see some further. Yeah, there we are. I can see some further up. I have no idea where they are up here. But the castle itself is like something off Game of Thrones, because it's at the top of this like massive piece of rock. So it's got like a fantastic view of the local area. So I'm just apprehensive as to quite how many steps there'll be on the way up. So unfortunately it seems that all the ways up the hill have been closed for the tattoo, but it's still very impressive. It's just all the like beautiful architecture around it. And you get some scope for the height of it all as well. Like as in just quite how far up it is off the rest of the city. Like Edinburgh's quite weird in that the city itself is kind of like on several layers. So there's bits of it that are underground. There's also just bits of it that are just higher. So the bridge, there's a bridge that just goes over a bit of the land that's a lot lower than the rest to connect to the high bits. Like whereas in most cities, like the bridge goes over the river. So it's quite unusual in that regard. But no, I think I've just found another route up to the castle now. The other one being closed because it was the Edinburgh tattoo recently, so just moving all the stuff down. I was impressed that our machine overlords seemed to be doing quite so well in Scotland, even if one of them was flummoxed by a rather steep incline. He stood there for a few minutes longer, unable to move. So I'm a really big fan of stand-up comedy. Edinburgh hosts the Edinburgh Fringe, the shop of which is behind me. Unfortunately I've written the sign back to front so you won't be able to read it. But this being the festival where all of the people did a really big stand-up comedy festival. One of my friends performed in it last year actually as part of some other production, and it's one of those things that I've always wanted to go up and see because it just does look really good fun. So I'm currently on the bridge which goes over like a large portion of the city. So that down there's the train station I need to get to. It's almost definitely a way of getting down it somewhere down there, like this bit to the left here, but I haven't worked out how. There's the entrance just down there. So I'm going to wander down and just get back to the train station. Just walked past the bellhop to the Clarendon, who's dressed in a kilt. Those level of local authenticity I like there. But the incredibly short trip to Edinburgh is drawing to a close. So go in here, see Becky in about half an hour. See Becky in about, I don't know, maybe probably less than half an hour. And we'll just get the train back. After that, I think I might head up to school because I need to go over personal statement stuff. So I'm going to see if the head of like personal statement-y stuff is free. But I haven't emailed him before now, so I don't have great expectations. Other than that, I'm probably just going to pop by the Amnesty bookshop to go grab a cup of tea with Nina, who's volunteering there. And I'll just be a nice way to end the day seeing her, then just going back home, really. I haven't really sat down since I left the house yesterday at about 2. It's just been quite a hectic trip. Like, whether it was being victimised at the comedy club for making the mistake of sitting far too close to the front row, or whether it was fixing a wheel on a friend's car. Things have been pretty rushed recently. So kind of just like a nice slow day.